Island
Popping
style.
on your TV.
And now, Urban and Island style.
It's time for Urban and Island Style.
Island style.
Urban and Island
Urban
Style.
and Island style.
Get ready. Auntie time.
Island style. Urban and Island style. Island style. Urban and Island style. Urban and Island style.
Popping on the TV, Urban Island style. Boy, la 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 la, then that. At the time, boy, la 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 la, then that. At the time, wicked and wild. Popping on your TV, Urban Island style.
Urban and Island style. Urban and Island style.
Urban Island style.
Urban and Island style.
Wicked and wild. Popping on the TV, Urban Island style.
Urban and Island style. Urban and Island style. Urban and Island style.
Urban Island style.
Urban and Island style.
Urban and Island Style.
Aloha, welcome to Urban and Island Style. I'm your host, Auntie Taz. I got a sweet show for you today. We're going to talk story with wellness movement coach Karyne Daniels and get our dance on as we watch Karyne demonstrate what she calls Hula fusion to a song of her choice. So grab your coconut water and pa'u skirt and be here when we come back. Why? Because you don't want to miss this.
Thank you for joining us on Urban and Island Style, the show with your host, Auntie Taz. Every episode, Auntie Taz dives into a fun or informative video that matters to you, the inspired, covering topics from hair, fashion, island activities, business concepts, and more. And now, here is Auntie Taz.
Aloha, Maui, Hawaii, and everybody else. Welcome back to the Urban and Island Show. As we said, I'm your host, Auntie Taz, and today in the studio, I have a very special guest. Her name is Karyne Daniels. Hi, Karyne.
Hi.
Welcome to
Hi.
the show.
Thank you so much.
I'm so grateful that you're able to be here today.
Thank you for asking me.
Yes. So, in case y'all are wondering, Karyne is an amazing spiritual soul. I actually love her. She is so full of joy and light. I met her as I was seeking a dance instructor here on Maui, and that's how I came to know Karyne. She's very fun to be around, a light, beautiful as you can see, and I am so grateful that you're here. So Karyne, I know who you are, but tell our guests, who is Karyne Daniels?
Karyne Daniels is first and foremost a divine daughter of the Creator. And I'm also adopted. So I was adopted as an infant, and then I became a daughter and a sister, and later in my life, a wife, and I'm a mother. And I am a creative person. I am a dancer and a choreographer and one who uses my platform to inspire others and share light and love and aloha.
Nice. Well, and you said you're married. You just recently got married,
yes, I did.
correct?
Yes, I did.
Congratulations.
Thank
Tell
you.
us about that. Where was your wedding?
Our wedding was in Canada.
You live on Maui and you went to Canada for your wedding?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
How was that?
It was amazing. It was beautiful. It was dreamy. It was simple, very quaint and intimate, and it was a dream come true.
Wow, that's great. And so are you still Mrs. Karyne Daniels, or do you have a hyphenated
Right now,
name?
I'm Daniels.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Okay. Well, Karyne, what brought you to Maui?
Long story, and I know everyone has a story of how they came to be on the island, and many people say that Maui or Hawaii called them.
Sure.
And for me, I was called at the age of 5. I started doing hula in California my kumu, my lezusa, was born and raised in Hawaii, but she moved to California and opened up a studio, an authentic Hawaiian dance studio, Polynesian actually, because we learned Tahitian, Samoan, and Maori dancing as well.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
So I found that at age 5, fell in love, that's all I wanted to do. My heart was wrapped around hula and Polynesian dance at a very young age. So I can remember in all of my journals throughout all of my years writing, I want to live in Hawaii, I want to live in Hawaii. So long story short,
Sure.
I met my second husband in Southern California, and when I met him, he told me he had 3 daughters from his previous marriage that already lived here in Maui.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, why aren't you there?
Yeah.
You know, and I wanted to live there, so that was my project.
Okay.
That I would reunite him with his daughters who were in Maui, and for me to live my dream of living in Maui. And so that happened.
Wow.
And so it was that relationship that created the transition for us to be here. And then he and I had our own daughter too. And so she was born and raised here.
Oh,
And
wow.
she's 17. So.
Okay. So wait, let me go back. So what I heard something that was really great. I heard you say that when you were 5 years old, you already began to visualize what you
Yes.
wanted and where you wanted
Yes.
to be.
Yes.
But then I also heard you say you wrote that down.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Is that something that you do to manifest things even now today? Or, the same as you did as a child? Would you say?
I would say now I don't do that as much. Maybe I should. I kind of hold things in a different way. But growing up, I was a journaler, and I used to have a diary, and I would always go to that and put everything in there. My dreams, my hopes, my fears.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a very positive and powerful modality for seeing, and I do believe in that. I believe we should write down so you can see the thing you're praying for or hoping for. And so for me as a youth, it helped. But today, sometimes I do write it down, but a lot of times I speak it. I speak things, and I pray for things, and I hold things, and I kind of let it ruminate and live in my body, and I meditate with that thing that I'm hoping for.
Wow, that's amazing. I don't know if you know, but you and I have something very similar, not exactly in common. I heard you say that you were adopted.
Yes.
So, as an infant.
5 weeks old.
5 weeks old. Well, I was in the foster care system when I was younger also. Yeah, so I didn't even know that we had kind of similar journeys in that way. But we can talk more about that. How was your adoption though? Did you have amazing parents?
Yes.
And they were in California then?
Yes.
Okay.
My parents, they had already had 2 sons. My mom could not have any more children, and she was not complete till she had a girl.
Okay.
So that's when my parents began looking into adoption, and went through the process, filled out all the papers, and then finally got the call that I was available.
Oh,
and I was waiting in Los Angeles
Right.
at St. Anne's home for babies waiting to be adopted. And they brought me home to my first home in La Puente, California on Thanksgiving of 1963. And amazing parents, very old-fashioned, good values, standards, principles. I was, raised right and very much loved, very much wanted. I was wanted especially by my mom, just passionately. She wanted a daughter. And so I think that really spills over to who I am. because I was always celebrated. You know, I look at there's kind of like two elements in my life. One being my origins from my birth parents and not being wanted. And easily, you know, let's give her away, to immediately being wanted and celebrated. And so, you know, I've had to, you know, speaking spiritually, I've had to navigate both of those elements. But my adopted parents just revered me and loved me and supported and noticed my dance at age 3.
Oh, wow, okay.
And funny, this is the funny story, and I always say that it really wasn't me drawn to the Hawaiian culture. It was Hawaii called me.
Yes.
Because I was 3, and where we lived was 99% Hispanic or Latino community. And my parents used to go to this Polynesian restaurant that was right there in the midst of the taco stands and Mexican restaurants, and there was this Polynesian restaurant.
Nice.
And
what did they have? Like the spam musubi and
No, it was like pineapple chicken and you know, Hawaiian style rice and you know, but the whole restaurant had this Polynesian feel and music and tiki torches and it was just magical at 3 years old. And I have a memory of walking in there, my dad holding me, and I was just captivated. And I could hear Tahitian drumming on the speakers and the tiki torches. And as we got into the restaurant, my mom said, when that music took over me, and I crawled up on the table and started freestyling.
I don't know if you know, we have in common. I actually used to be in foster care when I was younger. So, interesting enough, that brings me to a question for you. Have you ever had to deal with any type of like abandonment issues throughout life? And if so, how did that show up, and how does that show up in your dance? Because for me, I definitely had challenges with feeling like not being good enough and you know, this whole line of thought process that could be very detrimental and could really block creativity. Can you speak to that? Did you have anything like that in your experience?
I'll try to keep it short.
Okay.
Because that's a whole subject.
Sure.
But yes, I have healed from that. And I must say the main medicinal aspect that helped me move through that was just God.
Okay.
Knowing who I really am.
Sure.
You know,
whose you are.
Yeah, I belong to God, and that's it. And so once, you know, my spirituality kicked in and I really grasped that, then anything that happens to me, you know, can just roll off of me. But yes, you know, I've had to deal in my life with abandonment issues and also being an abandoner. So the abandoned can be an abandoner.
Sure.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah, there's been a lot of separation where I felt like pulling away and being very much alone and solitary and feeling really good about it because that's comfortable. So I always felt like because it wasn't painful and I wasn't feeling I was doing the wrong thing, that I was in the right thing. But later, as you mature, you know, you realize you can't get through this life without people. And it really is pushing through, because I can be alone for a long time.
Yes.
And I had to push through that and know that I please God most when my presence is present with people, with groups. And so I think that's also part of the reason why I'm a dance teacher. You know, God put a profession on me. I always say dance is the excuse for me to learn all of my lessons.
Sure.
And one of those was to be social and to include people and interact because of that abandonment, of that separation feeling that would overtake me. And I was I was adopted at 5 weeks, so I have 5 weeks of nothing, of no one. And so I think that's also a little template in me where I can just hang out and wait.
Hanging by yourself.
Yeah, and I still have those moments where I really enjoy just me and God and being in that mode, but I know that I got to come out of that too and interact, because I really feel I shine the most when I do share with people. And coming from that background, I also have a sensitivity for the lost, and I can also pick out people who maybe want to be alone or pull apart, and God has given me a language through dance to be able to bring them in and lighten up the mood and show them that they are loved. So, whatever is your burden also becomes your blessing. And, same for you. You come from that, so you really have the anointing to comfort others and bring them in and show them they're not alone and they're valued and needed. So I try to do that through my dancing.
And you do. That's what I got from your dancing.
Good.
It's interesting. It sounds like you're describing the next level from where I am, because I am perfectly fine being by myself, doing things by myself. I actually thrive in that space.
I do too. Yeah.
However, as it were, I am being exposed to
God
the
will
idea
draw you
of
out.
others in closer proximity and what value I bring to them, but even more importantly, the value they bring to me, because I know for me, rejection, challenges and stuff like that, I would rather do it all by myself than set myself up for some type of vulnerable moment. And I think when I initially came to you for dance, I was talking about that, and I was trying to take to my dance my feminine energy, because I don't know if you remember, but in our dance classes we spoke about the masculine and feminine energy, and how as a creator and a creative, I tend to use more masculine energy. That's that, business space, that's that leadership space, that's that provider space. And I was struggling with the feminine energy, because to me it's less satisfying in terms of results. And that coming from me having the understanding that I burn diesel fuel better than I burn anything else, meaning I can use anger to project a project, and the outcome happens way quicker and way better than when trying to use love. And I would equate the anger to a more masculine energy and the love to the most feminine energy. So I'm so happy that you brought that up, because even as you're speaking, you're like speaking into me and reminding me of some things.
Very good.
This is crazy. I love it. Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit. You're here on Maui now.
Yes.
You're doing your dance. Tell me about that. How did you transition from whatever styles of dance you did before you moved to the island to the dance that you present now that you're on the island?
Well, it was one of those transition moments. We've had many. We all have our key moments that we remember. And I had a pretty fruitful career in Southern California, over 20 years, long resume. And then we transitioned here, I had a baby, and trying to get back into the groove and find out what my dance looked like here in Maui, but then also going through a divorce. So getting ready to be a single mom and support myself through dance. So what happened was I decided that I would just start dancing in my living room. And every day after baby was up and she was fed and playing, I went to my little corner of the living room and turned on my amazing music that I have, very inspirational, not necessarily Hawaiian, but very spiritual music. And I began to do hula to this different kind of music. And also urban dance and contemporary interpretive. Whatever came out of me, I just wanted to tell a story. I wanted to move and start seeing and feeling and sensing what my dance was going to look like here. And I started seeing that God was leading me back to my hula roots, but fusing it with all of my other training. I used to do street dance in California.
Like break dancing and stuff?
No, I did my own version of street.
Pop locking or
no,
what street
keep
dance?
going.
Like what?
It was more like whacking and punking.
Whacking? Okay.
You know, like, you know.
Whacking. I've never heard of that. Whacking.
Look it up. Google it.
Okay, whacking.
And just really low and just, you know, really just kind of with isolations. And I did my own. I created my own. It was really low into the ground. But that was the hula coming in. So the hula, you know, I was always low. And
like
just,
the hiko.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just bent knees and just a lot of hands, which is hula too.
Yes.
Very hands and very interpretive. So
Yes.
I knew I wanted to do stuff with my hands. I love to tell story. I like my feet on the ground. I like to be connected to the earth. So I just kind of fused everything and created a more gentler form, because I'm older now, so I can't really do what I used to do in California. But it's a very low impact, interpretive, gentle, very powerful and prayerful movement, which I ended up entitling Sacred Dance Path, because I felt like it was a path. My life has been a path. My dance life has been a path, and it certainly has been sacred because God has been with me. It's all I have ever done. I never had a normal job, a 9 to 5. I've been able to dance all of my life. And so I named my company Sacred Dance Path, and I started teaching. I just started putting little flyers out in ads and gathering little groups, and it started with a keiki class, doing creative dance, and then one thing led to another. And the parents, the moms, really liked it, and they said, "Do you do hula?" And I said yes, and they said, "Well, could you teach our kids?" So I added a little hula segment in the creative dance.
Sure.
So it became a mixed class.
Sure. By demand.
I was always asked and led into these different forms. So then after that, the moms wanted to dance.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So then they were like, "Do you have a women's class?" So I was like, "I could create one." So I created a women's class. And that went on for a few years. And then they requested a Mommy and Me class.
Oh, fun.
So then I did this amazing Mommy and Me class. And so I've just kind of been pulled along. And then, of course, the online opened up. And so now I'm working with women around the world.
That's fabulous.
And just grateful and thankful every day. And all the dances that I create are just in that little living room spot. Everything. So, you know, Sacred Dance Path was born out of me healing.
Sure.
And looking for an outlet. And then it developed.
So that makes me wonder, because, you know, I'm urban and we live here on the island. And hula is sacred dance, very traditional. Have you ever been approached or confronted with any adversity as it relates to approval to practice hula in the way that you're instructing others? Or has there been any tension or any type of adversity at all when it comes to how you interpret hula as it relates to traditional hula and the principles that come with it.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? I'd be interested.
It's understandable, and I think people don't really understand my path. From where I've come from and how I've learned my hula and then branching off into urban. I really, technically I don't consider myself a hula dancer.
Okay.
I consider myself a sacred dancer.
Okay.
Which means I can use really any modality that I am efficient in.
Sure.
And I also consider myself a choreographer.
Yes.
So as a choreographer, we are dance makers, and so we get to draw from different cultures and elements in order to get the message across.
Sure.
So that's what I do. I choreograph. I put together dances, and sometimes I use the hula, and sometimes I mix it with contemporary, which you'll see today.
Okay, I'm
I'll be
excited. We're going to see
demonstrating
some
that.
hula mixed with contemporary.
Yeah.
So the contemporary would represent the urban side, and the hula would represent the island side.
Yes, the
Ooh.
Polynesian, yeah.
Nice. Okay, sounds good. Well, what inspires you, Karyne?
So many things.
What inspires you to create? What inspires you to be, to just be?
I have been blessed all of my life, and I think my adoptive parents really stoked it. They believed in me so much that I believe in myself. I just have.
That's great.
I always felt, even as a little girl, that I had a mission. Even with the rejections, and I've had many, it would roll off of me, and my mission and my belief in myself was stronger than any rejections. I would just go back to the drawing board and work harder, and I feel propelled. I feel like I'm being pulled by spirit into my path, and I feel this every day. Even if I don't get a phone call or a job or nothing comes through, I feel like I know I'm here to do this. This is my path. My path is to assist and enlighten and share love and truth through dance with people, and that's my job. That's what I'm here to do. And
It sounds like you really have a lot of, I hear you saying you have a lot of faith in what you do, because with it being the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen, you're saying even if I don't get a call, even if I don't have a clear vision of what my tomorrow looks like, I'm going to get up and dance in my space anyway.
I always say dance like God is watching, and that's what I do. I don't say dance like nobody's watching. I dance like everybody's watching in my living room, and I create when nobody is watching, but I know my Creator is leading me, and that these little dances are very important. They need to exist, and they're healing, they're inspirational, they're positive. No matter what's happening, through the bountiful times, through the times where seemingly nothing is happening, I'm still dancing.
I love that.
Oh, you want to turn this up?
And again.
So cute. I love it. Oh, my nails, I forgot. Oh, you want to turn this up?
And again.
You cute. You like your island braid style?
I do. I love them.
Very. What do you want to be known for?
I think I want to be known for someone who exuded the principles of love and light and inspiration, but using dance to lead people there.
Where do you see yourself going in the future?
As big and wide as spirit will allow. I definitely would love my company, Sacred Dance Path, to be worldwide, to have retreats. One of my dreams is to have a Maui retreat annually, to invite all my women from wherever they are to come stay for a week and have a glorious time of dance and music.
Yes.
So just continue doing what I'm doing, but more of it and on a broader scale.
What does aloha mean to you, Karyne?
Well, my dance couldn't exist without it. So teaching the deeper teachings of aloha is definitely something I weave into my dance. But to me, it's really just moving through life with people. Like we talked, you know, it's got to be with people. Working mutually with people, sharing breath and light, and the attributes of aloha, which are kindness, compassion, humility, honor, sharing, caring. So
I love that.
Exuding those every day.
Yes. We have a saying at Urban and Island, aloha is always love over hate, always.
Yeah, shocking.
And we try to roll with that whole principle. How do you measure success in what you're doing?
To me, getting up and pursuing my dream every day and not giving up. And like I said, if even nothing happens, seemingly everything is happening because I'm holding that dream and I'm not letting it leak out and I'm not letting it dismantle and gather dust. Continuing one step forward, because success to me is built in little steps forward. Bunch of little steps add to the goal that you're seeking.
So progress.
Yeah.
Progress towards the goal. What is one thing about your job or your field of expertise that almost no one agrees with you about?
Well, earlier in my life, when I had my first daughter, everyone said, "Oh, that's it. That's it for your dance career. You know, you're going to have to settle down and be a mom and get a normal 9 to 5." And I refused. I was like, I'm not hearing that. So
good for you.
Lately, I would say, mixing the different genres. There's some people that don't like that I do that. Mixing, the Polynesian fusion is what I like to say. I'm a Polynesian fusion artist, taking the beauty of Polynesian movement and adding it to a reggae or a contemporary song. So, I think I have some, pushback on that. But I also believe that that's my calling to do that, to be a bridge and bring those worlds together.
That's what makes you unique. Perfect. I love that. So, in your opinion, what is the most important personality trait or strength someone would need to work in your industry and be successful in it?
You got to be solid right here. You got to know who you are. You got to know what your yes is. You got to know what your no is. What is non-negotiable. You have to know who you are. That's number one. You have to be solid in that. Number two is hone your skill. Whatever your skill is, whatever your main thing is, be good at it. Study it, study others, and practice it every day. If
you could go back and give your 18-year-old self some advice, what would you say?
Slow down. Be patient, but ask more questions.
Ooh, ask more questions.
Scrutinize. All of you out there that are young, you don't have to give a quick yes or a quick no to anything. To me, what I've learned, the most powerful statement is, "Can I get back to you on that?"
Yes, for sure.
Go home and breathe with it, pray with it, write it down, talk to others, and give an answer to something or someone when you're solid and ready to.
I love that. I will take my time. That one, I love that. What's something you're really proud of and why?
Career-wise, I would say the movie that I did with Madonna.
Sweet! You're in a movie with Madonna?
What movie? I think it was 1989 or 90. It was the movie Dick Tracy.
Dick Tracy with the nice suit and the hat.
I got the choice positions right next to Madonna, usually in all the scenes. So it was a experience of a lifetime. It actually helped my career. I almost didn't need to get any other professional work after that. I would just tell people, I was in the movie Dick Tracy.
Sure.
And I would get jobs like right on the phone. And
Wow.
it was great. It was a great memory.
Oh my gosh, for the audience, the first 5 people to find a picture or to find a segment on Dick Tracy where Miss Karyne Daniels is in and submit that to us here at Urban and Island Show will get a free gift. First 5 people to post that. It has to be a picture of Karyne on Dick
Just
Tracy.
look for my note, my Italian
1989,
nose.
You said? 1989 or a video segment. First 5 people get a free gift. What's the most important lesson you've learned over time spent on Maui?
Slow down. I know I'm from LA, so I'm like,
yeah. Fast life, fast
I'm like,
cars.
let's go.
Yes.
But that doesn't work here.
Right.
So I've learned. I've been here 17 years now. So breathe through every moment, and let each moment instruct you of the pace and divine timing. I'm really into divine timing, which is really tapped into.
What does that? Can you tell the viewers what divine timing means?
It's letting God or the Holy Spirit
Okay.
tell you when
Okay.
to go or to do or to speak or to say, rather than going by our own instruction, which sometimes we want to blurt things out and we want to be off timing. And so I try to be led by Spirit and really just, Spirit is in the flow. Spirit isn't in a hurry, which is very tapped into the aloha way of moving. So I would say slow down. And when you do that, there's so much in that each moment that I realized I've missed in all of my other years of speeding through and come on, let's go, hurry up, getting people to go at my pace. I'm okay. And it all in the end, it works out, and I always arrive on time.
Yes.
Sometimes I arrive early, and you never know what Spirit is protecting you from.
Yes.
If you just go with the flow, it's like, oh, I'm waiting 5 minutes. I wanted to leave 5 minutes earlier, but here I am looking for my keys. Maybe Spirit went before me and is protecting me on the road from something. So that's why I let Spirit lead. I'm like, I don't. So I'm in your flow.
Yes.
That's what I've learned here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Karyne, I have had an amazing time talking to you. You were so great.
Thank you, Auntie Taz.
Yes.
I love you.
Do you have any last words for our viewers today? Anything you would want to leave them as your lasting impression, Urban and Island Style?
Well, coming from a choreographer and a dancer, I would say for all of you out there, men and women, dance. Dance, find a song that you love, a song that makes you close your eyes and sigh. Dance to that song and pray. Prayer and dance go together, and in that little activity, Spirit will speak to you and tell you things and whisper mysteries and maybe even answer questions that you have.
Fantastic. I want to thank you for spending time with us and talking story.
Thank you.
We would love to see a piece with you, maybe a couple, maybe even a little instruction.
Well, yeah, I'll get you up there.
Okay, that sounds perfect. Okay, so we are going to be back in a moment with Karyne Daniels, and she'll be live doing her Polynesian fusion dance. We'll be right back.
beauty that's there in your smile enlightens the whole world around me. And I know you are here all the while. I see the magic that's within you, the way you appear like a star and shine like nothing else around you. I wanna be right where you are. Simple as a sunrise, your love is my light, chasing all of the darkness away. And I know in your eyes, for all of my life, there will always be something that guides my way. I ain't dreaming night, I'm with an angel, and her eyes to behold it is you. So let the stars stay up in heaven. The wish I want most has come true. Simple as a sunrise, your love is my light, chasing all of the darkness away. And I know in your eyes, for all of my life, there will always be something that guides my way. Simple as a sunrise. Just as it sets, we will be there when it rises. As sure as it is, as high as it stands. Out of the shadows to our destiny, because we were raised to be. We are proud as the sun. Catch fire, we'll catch fire, proud as the sun, raise on the water, raise on the water, the light of a nation. We are proud as the sun. Star comes from the east, and we'll navigate back home across the sea. Oh, the clouds may cover, let the rain wash away. Let our warmth remain, 'cause we are proud as the sun. Catch fire, we'll catch fire, proud
Well, aloha. Are you ready for your Polynesian fusion instructional? So we're going to start off with Vadu, which is a Tahitian figure 8. And we're going to do 8 in all the directions, starting with this side. So as we turn, we will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and turn to the back. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, turn. And 1, 2, get a nice 8 with your hips. Feet are flat on the floor to the front, ending here with our last set. 5, 6, 7, 8. Make sure you breathe. Next step is stepping out and in with a ka'o hip. So we're lifting 1 and together, uehe. Staying at one level. Other side. Out and in. From here, we're going to do a touch and touch with the arms going in, out, in, out. Let your back isolate with it. Stepping out and in with the ka'o. 1 and together. 2 and together. And touch, touch, touch. We do that set 4 times. Then we go into the chorus, which is a traditional step in Hula called lele uehe. So we're going to step to the side. Same arm, same leg. Bring the opposite leg into the arm that's working. Bring everything in. Uehe. Other side. Step side. Hela. Together. And knees. From here we're going to get a little funky and do a very kind of tribal and exotic arm with the hips, the knees, the legs, the arms, the shoulders. Everything is moving. Then we'll go back into the lele uehe. Then from there, we are going to do, there's going to be a freestyle section where Auntie Taz and I get to do some moves. And then a Tahitian section doing the fa'arapu, the fast ami, with our hips. So let's practice. Upper body doesn't move. Knees are loose, and we're going to lift and open to here. Then we're going to do a double bump, a double tamau, to the right, to the left, to the right, and to the left. Fa'arapu again, opening up, double bump, 2, 2, 2, 2. And then we'll go into a repeat of the lele uehe, and then we'll see what we'll do for the ending. Are you ready? Stand up. Here we go. Music, please. Figure 8. Here we go. And look at Auntie Taz. To the back. And out. Ready to transition? Lele uehe. And 1, 2. Arms, full body. 1, 2, 3. From the top, stepping out and in, and 1. and touch. Isolate your back with it. Feel it and breathe. Add your own arms to it. And up. One more set. Add your own arms. And lele wehe and one. Add your own groove. Smile. Okay, Auntie Taz, let's freestyle. Doing our own moves. Island style. Sacred dance path. Showing the aloha through your movement. Ready? And cohesion. Here we go with the hips. And double bump. Two. Nice and sharp. Fa'arapu. Double bump. And two. And two. Lele, uehe. And give a little bounce here. Lele, uehe, and one. Okay, let's finish it off with figure eight and one. Drop down. Draw that eight. Inhale and exhale. Take it around the island, slow turn. Excellent. And give me a shaka lava. Awesome. That's our show for today. Thank you for hanging out, kicking it with us, talking story with Karyne and Daniel. And we're doing it all urban and island style. We'll see you next time. Aloha.
With Auntie Taz.